increase in domestic terrorist threats against federal law enforcement officials following the search of Donald Trump's offices at Mar-a-Lago, including, quote, a threat to place a so-called dirty bomb in front of FBI headquarters and issuing general calls for civil war and armed rebellion. On August 9th, at Judiciary, GOP tweeted, "The IRS is coming for you. The Department of Justice is coming for you. The FBI is coming for you. No one is safe from the political punishment in Joe Biden's America," close quote. And on that same day, my colleague, Representative Gosar, my Republican colleague, called the FBI, quote, the enemy of the people, and tweeted, "We must destroy the FBI," close quote. Do you share my concerns as a former FBI employee about this type of rhetoric inflaming those who might already be inclined to do harm to our federal officers?
Mr. Lynch, above all else, I should take a moment to praise the work of the FBI and the many law enforcement agencies and individuals that I worked with throughout my time, 15 years in government, much of it in law enforcement. They do work on behalf of the American people and frankly don't sign up for threats or abuse. So to answer your question, no, absolutely, the threats hurt and are toxic and corrosive to our democracy.
Is it ever appropriate for American leaders to encourage violence against another branch of government?
The encouragement of violence is never appropriate either as a moral matter or under the law, sir.
Now, thank you. The FBI has to respond to facts on the ground. And as recently reported by the Bipartisan Center for Strategic and International Studies, 28 of the 30 domestic terrorism fatalities that occurred in 2021 were the result of far-right terrorist attacks perpetrated by individuals who were, and I'm quoting, motivated by ideas of racial or ethnic supremacy, opposition to government authority, including perceived overreach related to protocols following the COVID-19 policies, misogyny, hatred based on sexuality or gender identity, and belief in QAnon conspiracy theory, or opposition to certain policies such as abortion. Mr. Williams, could a congressional investigation designed to spread misinformation suggesting that the government is a threat actually compromise the safety of American citizens?
The important words there were designed to, and so of course a congressional investigation that were designed to do that would be improper, sir.
As you've raised as well, I was on the committee when Mr. Chaffetz and our dear friend Elijah Cummings conducted those negotiations around investigations of the Secret Service, and I also agree with the former chair's instructions around our joint investigations with Walter Jones. But could congressional investigations predicated on anti-law enforcement rhetoric contribute to misinformation that could lead extremists to target government actors?
Yes, sir.
Explain that. Go into that a little bit, rather than yes or no. Someone
sure.
who sat in that seat, explain to the audience.
Sure. I think a lot of it's the climate we're in today. There is a significant risk of harm to an individual when people are whipped up by what they read and see. And so certainly these aren't mere statements. In addition to being legally actionable, they come at a significant cost, sir.
At the same time, a unilateral, this committee is based on the premise that that the American people are under attack by the federal government, by Department of Justice, by the FBI, by the Department of Homeland Security. That's the premise on which this committee was based. And I just regret the impact that that's going to have on people who might otherwise consider serving in those agencies, and I just wonder if you have a perspective on that as well.
Again, as I said briefly before, people come to, and in my experience, the vast majority of people I worked with, and frankly, if not all of them, came to serve, came to treat the rule of law as their guide and serve the American people. The fear of threats will chill people's ability, number one, to do their jobs, but also in terms of recruiting. People will not want to sign on for a job that will come necessarily with being threatened or doxxed online, sir. So I absolutely agree with that statement.
Thank you. My time has expired. I yield back.
Gentleman yields back. The gentleman from Louisiana, Mr. Johnson, is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. A lot has